the regional summit and we did the survey before it, we asked people, what is that one issue, that one thing that we need to make sure that we're focusing on and addressing by 2030 as a region? And the number one thing was to grow our community and economic vitality and vibrancy in both our urban and our rural communities. So I think this grant is a good example of trying to accomplish that. In the next few minutes, we have a couple other things we're going to do. The first is we get to recognize some of our funding partners. Every year, we started, when TATT started in 2010, we asked people for 3-year funding commitments. And we had quite a number who started in that manner. And every year, beginning in 2012, we recognized the folks who did a 3-year funding commitment, who had been a part of our organization as a funder for 3 years or more. And so each year we have given a special gift to the folks who are 3-year funding partners. And we have 8 organizations, businesses, some of which are here today that we're going to recognize. And the gift, if Carol, if you'll come up and show one of them, it is a square from a quilt. And Chris Tedesco is here. She's the artist who does it. And the idea was, we talk about creating weaving, and of course the history of the Upstate with the textiles, but is to weave a community of where vibrancy and collaboration and working together is vital to our community. And so we felt like having this as a gift with the squares, and hopefully folks have put them up in their offices. I've seen several of them. Kind of creates that quilt from a regional standpoint. So that's why this is the gift that we give to our funding partners after 3 years. So I'm going to ask those who are here. We have Greenville Health System, Brown Mackie College, Greenville Water, Nelson Mullins Riley in Scarborough, PMPA, Spartanburg Water, GSP Airport, and Palmetto Bank. I know Sam's here, and Dave is here, and we have someone from Brown Mackie also was here earlier, and David Bereskin was supposed to be here. But if Dave, if you and Sam will come up, and Chad representing Spartanburg Water, and also Donna representing Brown Mackie, if you guys will come up and receive your recognition. And all of our funding partners are listed on the back of the program, and we thank all of our funding partners for their support. Thank you, Carol. While we're waiting, I'm going to give a brief overview and summary from the regional summit. We're working on a more in-depth review, but many of you were at the event. As was alluded before, we had about 800 people at, and lots of ideas and input. And what came out of it was 5 areas, or 5 themes that I'm going to focus on today. The first, no surprise, was transportation. People talked about we need to fix the roads and bridges, we need to increase access to transit, and we need to reduce congestion, both for moving people and goods. And certainly some of the things that have happened recently have made it a little bit harder for us, but it is something that as a region we have to continue to focus on. The second is education and training. Connect students to careers and jobs, grow mentoring networks, build on successful programs. Then the third is entrepreneurship and workforce. Increase access to capital at all levels, to maximize entrepreneur networks, to grow communications and connections between workforce organizations, education, and business. Then the next one is collaboration. Provide opportunities for connecting with others, doing similar things across the region. Maximize and leverage our regional power. Bobby Hitt talked about that, how important it is in multiple different ways. And then promote regionally the assets and the programs that we have. And I think, groups like the Upstate Alliance do a great job of promoting that to the world, but we don't necessarily promote those things internally. And that leads to our fourth one, which is promotion and awareness. Fifth one, I should say. And I was really surprised at how significant promotion and awareness of things that exist or don't exist in the region was such a dominant theme in all the comments and the ideas that came out of the summit. And it's important in multiple ways. One is because promotion and awareness reduces duplication by maximizing awareness of the programs that already exist, creating lists and assess programs and initiatives that are currently underway, and then working regionally to promote our regional assets, tourist attractions, and et cetera, and on and on. And, you know, it's one of the big challenges. Any of you who work for nonprofits or even small businesses know that you may have a great organization, a great program, but it often is, your biggest challenge is to make people aware of that you exist and that you do have that program or that thing that people could be a great solution or a way to address key issues. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard this exact description from folks. Said, we have this great program, we're really pleased in it, except I'm disappointed in the number of people who are participating. And there has to be a reason for that. And I think there are multiple. One is we don't know about things, so we create new ones. That came out in the, I cannot tell you, there was probably a third of the ideas that came out were great ideas, but most of them were things that already are being done. People just don't know about them. So how can we grow that awareness and that promotion? So in 2015, TATT, and really it's not much of a change from what we have done throughout the years, just kind of bucking it a little bit different. Our focus is on connecting, it is on communicating, and it is on building or growing capacity. And some of the things that we will be doing, as we have done, but even more emphasis on certain areas, is continuing role of our, as a neutral regional convener. We've got a number of initiatives already on the books, already planned for next year, including a regional school superintendents and school boards meeting. Of course, we host the elected officials meetings that many of you attend, and others. Then continuing to build capacity and awareness. We have the Upstate Information Hub, which is designed, was created almost 3 years ago to be a resource for resources, a resource to find what exists in terms of programs and initiatives and things across the Upstate. This past month we had over 50,000 hits, page views. It was the largest that we've had for that in the 3 years, but it's still something that is in some ways untapped. So if you've not used the Upstate Information Hub, continuing to grow that and making sure it becomes the resource that increases awareness and gets people to know what exists in our region is one of our emphasis for next year. We will continue to have our quarterly forums. Then we're starting something new, and it's in the program, just a little blurb about it, but I'm really excited. You know, we said, you know, we have a lot of, and I hear it a lot, we have a lot of our programs in Spartanburg and Greenville, you know, at BMW or at CUI Car or places like this. And the real reason is because it is the center, is along the corridor. But what that means is often that we don't necessarily get to go out and see all that we have here in the Upstate region. So we said, wouldn't it be neat if we took a trip once a quarter, a bus, to one of our communities to learn, to do an immersion into that community for a day. So we're going to start that in the first quarter, where every quarter we will take a bus for anyone who is interested and able to go. We'll meet with the economic development directors, we'll meet with the local city and county elected officials, we'll meet with the school folks, we'll meet with some of the social service people to learn about the challenges and the issues and the opportunities and the great things that exist in our different communities. We're going to start with Greenwood in the first quarter, then we're going to go to Union, and we're going to do Lawrence, and then Oconee, and then we'll go to Abbeville in the next year, and then we'll go to Cherokee and all our different communities until we've done all of our counties. And we hope all of you who have time, it is a day, but we think it will be a valuable day to learn about the assets across our Upstate region. And then we're partnering with Greenville Business Magazine to do an Upstate regional report that will come out in early 2015. It will be not a glossy, here's all that we're doing great, or a negative, here's all we're doing bad, kind of just a general report and a look at how we are doing in the Upstate and how we're trying to address those challenges that we have as a region. Then our task forces and committees are going to continue meeting. Many of you have been engaged with that. We have a lot of initiatives that I think are very consistent with what we learned through the regional forum and the summit and the feedback. So I feel really good about that and the things that we have happening. I hope if you're not already involved that you will become engaged with one of our committees or our task forces You also can go to the What's Next Upstate website. It's still open. That's where the ideas from the summit were housed. They're still there. You can talk to folks. That's one of the pieces we've encouraged people that, you know, if you see an idea that you know you're already working on or someone else is, we encourage people to connect through that so you can meet other people and learn about what is happening in the Upstate. Then understanding and measuring what we have as a region. We're in the process, many of you know, of completing a regional comprehensive plan review through a partnership with Clemson University. That will be something we'll be showing and unveiling in the next year. Then we're working with a number of partners, folks who do indicators across the region on how can we increase regional measurements of key issues and whether we are indeed moving the needle, and if not, how can we move that needle? So I want to conclude with this, because I found this quote from Henry Ford, and I think it really speaks to where we have been, where we are, and where we need to go. And he simply said that coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. It is when we work together that we can ensure that the Upstate remains a great place to live, to learn, to do business, and to raise a family. So I thank all of you who have been engaged with TATT, and I hope if you have not, that you can become involved in the next year. So with that, I see that Phil and Terrence are back in the room. So I'm going to invite Phil to come up.
Good afternoon. I'm Phil Hughes, and I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. This is fun. Every day, everybody faces their struggles and everything else. With Terrence's help representing Anderson as the mayor, Betsy Fleming's help from Spartanburg and Converse College, we have a tough time. But it's still fun because it's a good thing. And as we all know about Upstate, it's all about the people. Either you chose to live here or you were born and you chose to still stay here, but either way, you chose the area, and it's fantastic because of you. When we come together, we get fun ideas, they get developed, they create a little bit of interest, a little bit of money. The responses are incredible. It makes our job hard. We've gone over all of them. We had an idea before from applications. It did change. I'm pleased to announce the 2 winners this year. And it's really probably, we keep point system. I don't remember exactly last year, but I'm sure it's closer this year than it was last year. I want to thank all of you for doing that. Would be all right to ask, please, for the 5 finalists to come up. And as you do, I just want to go on a little bit about the Upstate and the people and working together. We have 5 different drivers, but we don't talk as much about the interconnectivity of these drivers as the interconnectivity of the region. For instance, we're talking about vibrancy. Well, what good is vibrancy without growth? We talk about growth. What good is growth without vibrancy? Everything's interconnected, and it's all through the people. It all comes back to people. And once again, thank you so much. Now for the drum roll. We did have a hard time. It did change. And last year we did have a surprise for a 3rd one that we're not going to have this year. But I'm pleased to say that maybe I shouldn't say which one comes first, but I will say the first winner is Lawrence for 5 years. For the 2nd prize, if travelers ready. And while there's not a 3rd one, and it is so much fun to try to struggle on who really deserves it. That community great, this community great. We do want to give you each $1,000 and ask you to consider applying again next year. Don't wait if you can, because give it to the people, because again, it's all about the people. Thank you all so much.
Wow, what a great afternoon. Well, today has certainly been another example, an excellent example of the great regional capacity here in the upstate of South Carolina. Phil, we want to thank you for your leadership. We want to thank you for your dedication in creating the Elevate Upstate grants and for the extra $1,000 for each of the other recipients today. It has proven to be a valuable program, and there is no doubt that the initiatives chosen today will continue to build the vibrancy that within our area of South Carolina. I echo the comments that while we are unfortunately not able to fund all the projects with this grant, some of you may have been inspired by ideas and you will want to step up and you will want to join those that will apply next year. And we hope that the grants that did not get funding will still come to fruition. I also want to offer my congratulations to all those who are celebrating anniversaries, the companies and the organizations. We have so many in the Upstate that have a long history of success, and that's why this is a special place, and we can all say this together, to live, to learn, to do business, and to raise a family. For 10 at the Top funding partners that we recognize today, we appreciate what you are doing. You are the backbone of this program. You support 10 at the Top. And I want to thank you for seeing the value and importance of this organization and connecting the dots and building what we consider to be truly an exceptional organization for the Upstate. It is quite remarkable that all the 10 at the Top has accomplished during the last few years with very little resources. But we can continue to build and do more with a bigger support base. The next 5 years can be even more successful, but not just for 10 at the Top, but for our region. I also want to thank the sponsors again today for this forum: Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina, the Greenville Health System, Brown Mackie College, Community Works Carolina, GSP International Airport, Regions Bank, and the Rutland Institute at Clemson University. Also again, RP, thank you so much for hosting this event here and all that your company, JMH Hotels, does for 10 at the Top and for Upstate South Carolina. Now you've heard Dean as he outlined the 10 at the Top focus areas for next year, 2015. I hope regardless of whether you have previously been involved or not, you have an opportunity now to be engaged. If your time allows, we'd love for you to join a task force, a committee, continue coming to regional forums, or taking one of those Explore the Upstate day trips. We want you to be engaged with 10 at the Top. Thank you again for your time. Building a cohesive region is important, but individual relationships make that even more special. So if you will stay around this afternoon, there's some food and drink outside, and it's a wonderful networking opportunity for you to get to know other people at 10 at the Top. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.